5 News This Morning starts now.
The president doesn't dictate what the states do as it relates to absentee balloting.
The debate over mail-in voting is heating up again with President Trump speaking out against the process. What voters in Arkansas need to know ahead.
And high temperatures stay pretty steady actually over the next 5 days, but look at that drop off Monday to Tuesday. And not only do we see a drop off of temperatures, but humidity as well starting actually tomorrow. We'll talk all about that coming up.
Plus, we're hearing from an Arkansas man who was at a Bahamas resort where 2 cruise passengers drowned. How he says he tried to help one of the victims.
But first, a live look outside in Ozark this morning. A beautiful sunrise as you're waking up here on this Wednesday, August the 20th. And a little bit of good news because it feels a little nicer.
It does, and we're 10 days from Arkansas football season.
Right. So, Danny, I mean, no complaints today. We'll take you from Mr. 50-50 to 100.
Joe.
Wow.
Just made my morning, Joe. The love is certainly in the air. But yeah, it feels a little bit nicer out there. It's still going to be pretty warm. It's still pretty muggy today, especially in the River Valley. But it is going to feel a lot nicer starting tomorrow and especially next week. Here's a live look at satellite and radar. You can see a little bit of cloud cover out there, mix of sun and clouds. You saw that there on the camera in Ozark. We're continuing to see those clouds kind of clear out a little bit this morning. A little bit of rain here just southeast of us along I-40, but I think that should continue to track off to the southeast. As you head out to the bus stop for those kids, temperatures will be in the 70s again. Not as warm as it was yesterday morning, but still kind of muggy out there. Heating up by recess or lunchtime, temperatures around 90, maybe feeling close to 100. Then as you're heading home, we'll see some of those areas, especially in the River Valley, feeling in the low triple digits, but could see some isolated storms. So while it's not going to be as widespread as it was yesterday, still could see that chance today. And you can see the best chance going to be anywhere from about 3 o'clock towards sunset. Those temperatures, again, the northwest Arkansas area will be in the low 90s. For the River Valley, in the mid to possibly upper 90s. Again, those storm chances are a little bit higher for the River Valley, especially earlier on. But again, we'll see that rain chance not as widespread today as yesterday. And we'll continue to see that rain chance decrease as well as the humidity and the warmth. So we'll talk more about that coming up in your full forecast. For now, take a live look at traffic on this Wednesday morning. We'll head on over to the Dyer area along I-40 at exit 20. You can see a nice sunrise there. You can see those oranges. A little bit of thin cloud cover out there, but we'll see some sunshine mixed in as well. We'll talk more about those rain chances as well as the relief coming up in just a little bit. Joe and Tiffany.
All right, thanks for that, Danny. Well, it's West Nile season and cases are increasing across the country and even the region.
And 5 News reporter Emily Moss is live with us this morning. Good morning, Emily.
Good morning, Joe and Tiffany. Right now, there are less than 5 positive reported cases of West Nile in Arkansas. However, the state health department says on average they see around 20 cases during the season, so it's really just getting started. West Nile is mosquito transmitted, causes symptoms similar to the flu in most people who do have symptoms. State veterinarian Laura Rothfeld says a majority of those infected, though, they don't have any symptoms. Although the state is reporting few cases now, Dr. Rothfeld says that number may not always be accurate, so it's important to stay vigilant.
So I do think that there's probably an underrepresentation in our case counts as far as, the actual cases that we have, because either the person wasn't ill enough to seek medical treatment or, they did, but then there just wasn't this test result that then gets reported to us. And then they recovered.
Dr. Rothfeld says if you are feeling sick and you've noticed you have more mosquito bites recently or even just more mosquitoes around in your area, it's important to go to the doctor and tell them so that way they can make sure they have the most accurate reporting of the disease.
All right, thanks for that, Emily. Appreciate it. Well, Fort Smith City directors say they need more time to decide the future of 3 historic cemeteries. They've been suffering from the lack of funding for years, and they're in need of quite a bit of repair. The Fort Smith Cemeteries Inc. is a nonprofit that's been running the 3 cemeteries since 2020, and they've racked up more than $600,000 in debt. 3 options were up for discussion this week, but city directors decided to table the issue until they say they can talk more about it during a study session. And Fayetteville City Council has unanimously passed the establishment of a Bill of Rights for firefighters. The bill will provide basic protections for disciplinary and promotional actions. It'll be the first of its kind in the state of Arkansas. The fire chief says the city already does a number of things in the ordinance, but hopes it's an example for other places in the state.
That's not the case all across the state, right? This is a very important part of legislation to a lot of departments that, and we're hoping maybe that we can be the example by stepping forward and adopting this and making it official, that it's, Fayetteville's official law.
The ordinance is not expected to impact the budget, according to a memo from Tuesday's City Council meeting.
Well, this morning, we're taking a closer look at the voting process in Arkansas after President Trump renewed a call to ban mail-in voting across the nation. Here in Arkansas, absentee voting is allowed through the mail, but you have to meet specific criteria. Officials say you must be, quote, unavoidably absent. If you can't go to the polls because of illness, physical disability, or if you live in a nursing home or in the military, you can apply for the absentee ballot. But even those limits are getting tighter next year thanks to Act 846.
The law just changed recently where if you are marked unavoidably absent, then you also have to get a witness to say that you didn't have any help with your ballot.
Arkansas's Republican Secretary of State Cole Jester echoed criticism of mail-in ballots in a statement, calling the process innately less secure than voting in person. There are 8 states that can hold entire elections through the mail. Arkansas is among 15 that require an excuse to get a mail-in ballot.
Fayetteville man accused of suffocating his infant son has been sentenced. Court documents say Benjamin Vincent pleaded guilty to endangering the welfare of a minor. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison. He was arrested in 2024 after his 2-month-old son died. Officials say Vincent was seen on video punching the baby multiple times. Prosecutors believe the baby died from suffocation after Vincent put a blanket over the child's head. Now, he was supposed to go to trial earlier this month, but accepted a plea deal. And in Northwest Arkansas, a man is sharing what he experienced after trying to help one of 2 American cruise passengers who drowned in separate incidents. This was at a Carnival's new Celebration Key Resort in the Bahamas. Police there say a 79-year-old man lost consciousness while snorkeling at the beach. Later that afternoon, a 74-year-old woman was pulled unresponsive from a pool. Both were pronounced dead. Carnival told CBS News its lifeguards and medical teams responded, but neither passenger survived. John Copta was on vacation with his wife when he was steps away from the man who was at the bottom of the ocean, and another bystander immediately stepped in to help.
I said, oh my God, my wife and I hopped off and I ran over there about the same time he got there, and we went down. He grabbed him by the arms, brought him up. I grabbed his legs, brought him up, and he was lifeless at that point.
Police say autopsies will determine the official causes of death. Carnival says its care team is providing support to passengers' families.
The FDA is warning Americans not to eat certain batches of Walmart's Great Value brand frozen shrimp. This is because they could be contaminated with a radioactive isotope. The shrimp was imported from an Indonesia-based company and sold by Walmart stores in more than a dozen states. Walmart has issued a recall and says the affected products have been removed from shelves. Customers are urged to throw the product away and to contact the place of purchase for a full refund. Well, Labubus are the latest craze in plush toys, but there's a new danger from imposter replicas. U.S. officials have identified multiple shipments of Labubu lookalikes from China known as Lafufus. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the fakes can break apart easily and are small enough for a child to fit in their mouth and potentially choke. Real Labubus have a holographic sticker with a scannable QR code that links to the Pop Mart website.
And it's official, the White House has launched a TikTok account. The move comes less than a month before President Trump's latest extension for the social media app to find a new owner or face a U.S. ban. Meanwhile, Minnesota announced it is suing TikTok, accusing it of preying on young people using deceptive and manipulative practices. A TikTok spokesperson says the lawsuit is based on misleading and inaccurate claims.